Closures, scopes, execution context. These buzzwords appear in every React and JavaScript interviews. But do you really know what is happening behind the scene? In this episode, we will uncover the closure with real examples, virtual diagrams, and interview level questions. Now the question starts. What is closures? Closure is created when a function remembered its lexical scope even after the outer function has finished executing. Think of a closure as a function, right? Plus the pact of variables it's remember. Okay, like this one. It's remembering the count over here. The closures are essential for React because the hooks, okay, these hooks like useState, useEffect, and the custom hooks all depend on the closure internally. So we can say closure remember the state between the re-render cycle. So let's begin with a simple understandable example. Okay, function outer. Okay, this is a simple function, and let's create a variable which becomes the closure for the internal function count. And now function inner the internal function which grabs the count which is currently in the outer function and increment it and console it. Okay, and finally just return the function, the inner function. Return inner. Okay, now grab this function and assign in a constant outer to trigger. Now what do you think when I call this function, the outer function, what is going to print? We call this function get called, and when this is called, it returns this inner function, which is basically this one. So currently this is pointing to this inner function. Okay, we are having the context of this inner function because this is get executed by these brushes, and then it grabs the inner functions reference. Now when we call this one, look, there is some typo, count. Okay, be careful when you are doing count. Now you see we have the context of the outer function variable. Even though the outer function has already executed, inner still remembers count. Okay, this memory is called closure. Okay, let's increase one more time, fn, and you see the counter increased to 2. So it is still remembering the reference of the variable which exists in the outer function, even if the outer function execution already done and it's already executed. So this is called the closure. Go to some little bit more complex example. Closure allow us to create a private variable, something JavaScript doesn't support natively. So we have to make it by own. So let's create another function, counter. That was the count. This one is counter. Now let's create a variable value. Okay, assign the 0, and then we are returning an object. Be clear, we are returning an object, not a function. So return, here we return increment function, which will increment the value. Okay, and then there is a decrement function. We decrement the value, and in the last get function, which return the value finally. So in the C variable, let's grab the function and execute it. So we get the object reference. When you do this, we get the reference, it gets triggered, and we get the reference of this object in this constant C. Now this is referring to this object. We have the access to these functions which is returned inside that object, the increment, decrement, and get, but we don't have the access of this inner variable, right? So we can access this variable using the closure concept again. So these function having the access of this variable. How? Let's see. C dot increment, and you can see what will happen. One get printed, right? Because we're incrementing. Again, do one more time. C dot increment. Call the increment 2 times. Now, let's see what will happen. We get 2. So this function, which so you see here value is not here the value is not accessible directly, right? Only through the return function. Which one is this one, and this one. This is how many library implement encapsulation. And this is also a one kind of design pattern. If you know the design pattern, you will know this is one kind of design pattern as well. Let's figure it out by your own, which design pattern is pointing to. Now, let's do some more complex example and try to figure out some interview traps. Okay, when we are going for interview and the interviewer will try to fall in a trap and ask some tricky and some fallback questions where we must have the answer, logical answer. So here are some classic interview question I'm going to demonstrate, and this almost everyone get wrong literally. So for example, this is very popular, very common interview question regarding to the closer. So uh, you already know this, but let's do for one more time. If you know, it's good. Otherwise, those who don't know this one, they get the taste of such type of question in advance. And then I plus plus. Now look, sorry, I plus plus like this. Now license wale bhaiya aa gaye. Now set timeout. We're doing here set timeout. And in the function console.log, we are printing the variable I. Okay. You're familiar with the variable and const and let, right? I think so. So now tell me what will be the output of this function, of this for loop. Any guesses? What will this print? 1, 2, 3, or something else? Okay, let's explain. This will print 4, 4, 4, 4, and like this. Sorry, it's 3 times, no? 4, 1, 4, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3. Yes, it's like it will print like this. And why? So because variable is a function scope and not a block scope. Variable always is a functional scope and not a block scope. You know functional scope, block scope, right? So the loop completed, and when the loop completed, the I becomes 4 because it's the timeout fires, right? So it's print 444. The time when it is a function scope, not a block scope. So once the set timeouts fired, it's pointing to the outer scope variable, and at that time it's become 4. So let's log it. Four, four, four. You see? 444. Then how we can fix this one? To fix this one, we have to make this one let, because let is a block scope. First fix is make it let. Okay. And you see, now it's not having the reference I because it's a block scope now. And there's no outer reference for this variable let. Okay, and now this is what is this printed? 1, 2, and 3. this is one kind of fix, and let's go to the another kind of fix, which is closer. So if you that interviewer say now it's fine, you fix this one with using the let. I want to fix this using the closers way. So how you're going to fix this in a closers way? So you could do like this. For where, he will say don't touch the where, it should be where only, but make the function work as expected according to the output. So what you will do, you will do like this. You know, if you write, and now what you do, just get a ify, pass the ify from outside as a dependency, and here just call a function, just grab this reference and insert timeout. Simple call, what we would call above, console log I with a 1000 timeout. So far so good. Now you see 1 2 3. So in this way we also make an ify inside the for loop, and for every loop it's getting a new reference of I inside this scope, right? And this way it's printing 1 2 and 3. Now this is how we do for the JavaScript. Now let's jump into the closures in the context of React, which is very interesting for the next topic. Let's go down. So as all we know, closure is the backbone of React hooks. For example, let's see how closures can cause unexpected bugs. Now let's let's build a click counter using closure together. Okay. So for this one, let me clear this this code. No need of this code as of now. So clean this up, and it's a basically JavaScript, but we'll implement this in React code base. But this is plain JavaScript, nothing to do with React. It is simply demonstration of the closure. So what you have to do, so first we write the function. Function is the create click handler. Very disturbing this GitHub Copilot. And here we create a simple variable clicks, which having 0 as initial value, and then it's return function, anonymous function, no name, just doing some code logic. So here we click +1, incrementing the click. It is again the closure concept, and then console logging. Total the clicks. Okay, and now useEffect, you know, we and done. Sometime repetition, what you're doing, so grabbing this function reference in this one, attaching this to the document, using the click event, and then on the component unmount we are just removing the listener, okay, to avoid the memory leak. Then let's do it. Click on the doc. Okay, save this one. Now look what will happen. Clear this up and have a closer look. You see, we are getting total count 1, total count 2, total click 1, total click 2, and this way. And because we having the reference of this click using the closure from the internal functions, so it even this is the execution of this function get done, we are still able to reference the outer variable using the closure. It is somewhere in the memory. So this is the small demonstration. So every click increment the count thanks to closure. At in the last, closure are one of the most important concept of any JavaScript or React interview. Closures are the one of the most important concept of any JavaScript or React interviews. If you understood everything today, you are ahead of already most of the candidates. In episode 3, we will break down the event loops and async behavior, another core interview topic. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, and drop a comment. Which concept I cover in more detail. See you in episode 3. Bye bye.